Yahoo! Off here behind the camera. I'm pretty sure having a little snack over here. And AI has once again been wrong. So what I asked it was, hey, if I play a local game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, will my Switch 2 continue to download a new game? Or a game in general? Look, Hyrule Warriors right there. Just bought it. Really like Dynasty Warriors. Hyrule Warriors was, I'm not going to say like even better, because I do have the new Dynasty Warriors on PC as well. But like it added a story, and there's a story to Dynasty Warriors as well. It was almost like RPG elements, but not in the stupid way of that one Dynasty Warriors that like really didn't work. Like it was a really nice balance on the previous ones, right? So I picked it up. Just came out a little while ago, and I was like, well, here's the other thing. I'm gonna play my Switch 2. If you guys are wondering, like, why are you so reluctant about getting a Switch 2? Of course, use it. Well, that's my Pro controller. If you notice, it's plugged in using the Duchess cable because it's the only one that's long enough. On the sides of the Switch 2, you can't see in the dark over there, but the Joy-Cons are back on. And then over there, charging, is my other set of Joy-Cons. Yes, because I haven't played in so long, every controller for the Switch 2 is dead. But either way, so I want to play. I bought Hyrule Warriors because I just want to vibe. Maybe start the first level or something, tonight before I gotta hit the hay, right? And then I'm like, okay, well, instead of just sitting here waiting, I'm gonna play. I might as well play a game on here, right? Like Steam can download in the background. Surely the Switch can too. AI assured me that if you play a local game, some like the only ones that would be an issue would be online ones. So Mario Kart World, kind of stayed away from there. And I'm like, oh, I'll play some Donkey Kong Bonanza. It'll download Hyrule Warriors in the background. Played for I don't know, it's half hour, 45 minutes. Yeah, it paused the download. And I did actually have to. It does let you prioritize downloads though, because Donkey Kong Bonanza came with DLC, so they got some more money out of me. But I wanted to play Donkey Kong Bonanza while Hyrule Warriors was downloading, so I launched the game. They're like, "There's new DLC." I'm like, "Okay, I'll get the DLC." And it's waiting to download Hyrule Warriors, download the Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC. And I'm like, "Oh no, download the update for this." It's like, "Okay, I will do that." But then I played Bonanza, like I said, for half hour, 45 minutes, right? And Hyrule Warriors did not download. And it was a 12% for forever. And I was like, what the hell's going on, right? Now we're already at 31%. Once I have wired Ethernet into this thing, it'll go even faster. We gotta get the new switch in the back room. And then what's gonna happen over here is I'm gonna get a PoE powered 10 gig. So I got two 10 gig lines coming in over here, right? One's going directly to the home theater PC. Right there. Then there'll be a switch under here for the receiver, the TV, the switch, the NVIDIA Shield, and anything else over there for home theater stuff, right? It's going to be PoE powered. It's like a 10 gig to 2.5 gig, I think. Or they might even have a 2.5 to 1. We'll see what the pricing is. But either way, that's why I ran two full 10 gig links over here. One's just for this guy over here, because often I'll do all my ripping for movie-wise on the home theater PC. Might as well, it's got enough grunt. And I need to transfer it back to the server. And then the rest of it, like, I don't want to run, here, switch 2, in this case. I don't even have the switch over there, so there's no point. Shield, hopefully there's going to be a new shield, because the Switch 2's out. And the original shield and the original switch shared the hardware. Receiver, right? TV. So it's at least 4 devices. So I need a switch over there, basically. And if I run a 10 gig link, or even if it's a 2.5 gig, and it goes to 1 gig links, none of those are pulling enough, right? They're all gigabit or worse. So that's the plan over there. But yeah, AI lies. Or maybe Nintendo says that you can play and download new stuff, except they consider Donkey Kong Bonanza an online game? Is it? Is it really? I don't think so. Ugh. Hey, look, just as I stop here, because I thought I was gaming long enough, however long it goes from dead for a Switch Pro controller to download to charge. That's how long I was gaming, playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. So you can look that up. Here, let's ask the AI and see how long that is. How long to charge a Switch to a Pro controller? See, it's totally right there. It typically takes about 6 hours to fully charge a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I wasn't playing for 6 hours. It's not right. And you're like, well, how do you know it was dead? Because it's so low on battery, right? It will not turn on. It's dead. So there you go. AI, wrong. Elliot, right. What is with all the little cat litter everywhere lately? Gertrude, what is going on, huh? What is going on? Indeed. All right. I grabbed some more knives for y'all. I just realized, has this wood always had all these dots on it? It's got all these dots. Or did I do something to it? It just seems weird. Oh, we got like one dot. Alright, so what's this video gonna be about? Oh crap, we gotta go all the way out to the car. If I go all the way out to the car, this video is going to get messy. Unless I disconnect the power for the Android audio. Alright, so we gotta do something sneaky. And the phone's not coming with apologies. I'll do this as quickly as I can. But I need the original Gerber EAB. So there's the EAB. Here's the EAB Lite I ran for years in Geek Squad. Before I got the orange EAB, you can see how torn up that clip is there. And I actually wore that from wherever it was rubbing constantly. This is like just raw stainless steel. I don't know how that might even be a transfer from something else onto this. For all I know. Okay, and over here we've got the Walmart EAB Lite Black Edition. And over here should be the OG one. This isn't the OG EAB Lite. This was my first EAB Lite. I gotta run out to the car to get my original EAB, but here you go. I think these are rather rare. EAB Lite with G10 scale. So, as quickly as I can be. We're back. Had to get this guy that's most reliable. One of the most reliable things I've ever owned right there. Gerber EAB. Still a favorite of a lot of you out there for EDC. And generally the original EAB, which is this guy, costs more. Now mine has seen better days. It doesn't like retaining itself anymore, like cleaving itself closed. It's seen lots of use. You might be able to see by that clip there. And for a while, these became harder to find / get. You can see here on that screw how much wear there is from changing the blade, and we're going to fix that today. But yeah, a lot of this thing's seen some shit, right? Bought this long time ago when I was working at Walmart. It was still in the knife case. Like it's like $10. Yes, as it was back then. We got a little deflection here as well. We got that. Oop. You guys are all vomiting. A little deflection there. This guy has almost none. Little bit of still says locked. This guy's even better. All right. This is the Walmart Black Edition. This one doesn't move. Still has the original blade on it. I haven't even changed it out for a carbide. So what do we got here? We got Stanley carbide. This recently got somewhat new one. Then we've got ourselves a Stanley carbide. What's this, like an Irwin? Yep, Irwin bimetal. So that's what I used prior to the Stanley carbides, was these Irwin bimetals. They're pretty good. Carbide definitely lasts longer. So if you hear somebody telling you to get Lennox blades, unless you need the 3 notches for different spots, the Irwin blades are better than the Lennox ones. But if somebody tells you to get Irwin blades, get carbide. Now, they used to be Stanley carbide, and they went to DeWalt carbide. Stanley Black & Decker owns DeWalt. Made in the same factory. DeWalt actually ended up being a little bit cheaper. Kind of weird. Same blade, though. Now, you can't get the DeWalt ones anymore. And at least on Amazon, these Stanley ones are about twice as expensive. This one feels like kind of weird because I think it's just painted black. A little gummy feeling. This one has by far had the least use. You can even see here, it's definitely got the worst milling. I don't know if you can see on that bottom, like you can see like the machining marks. Definitely by far the worst. Had to pick it up though because it was like $10 for a black EAB Lite. So why do we have all these? And I just knocked them over like friggin' dominoes because in a previous video you guys saw my EAB. Yep, this guy, the OG, came in. Except it is specifically the topographical variant. And you can only get this at Home Depot. For those wondering, I actually prefer the original EAB is slender, more slender here, right? It is a touch longer, but it's more slender. It's like more square. The finger stop on the light is probably more stoppy, like, whereas on here, not so much. I do not have, and I didn't even know this was a thing for a very short period of time. There was a version of the EAB that got recalled because something about it, like up here or something, or like maybe here, like this split, or it was something that made it unsafe. a lot of the users were like, well, the change. By the way, you know, I showed you some deflection. There's no deflection once it's locked up. This thing's still rock solid. But like I said, the retention of it here is kind of weak, and then a lot of play there just because of how used and old. I mean, I can see shit's hit it. It's hit shit. But there's a reason why this thing's like, this was like for my knowledge, like the first something this size that took utility blade. I might be wrong there. Maybe you guys will dig something up, but for basically until the TUKK XL came out, I ran this. And as you can see, that was one of the requirements, was being within that same size. TUKK XL, TUKK HD, better. And now there's the TUKK XXL. Look at that. It's short, smaller than an extended. EAB. So let's take the original EAB and open up. This screw here looks different also. On this black one that I got really cheap at Walmart, looks different than that one. Now that one's like got flattened out. Both this guy, you can see how tore up that screw is. Both this one and this one. This one's actually not that bad because I think when I threw it in the car, where it gets very light work now, just because like I kind of showed you, it's a little loose in the hips. Oh, look at that, look at battle damage there too. I got a brand new screw then, but that is when this went in the car, this became my main in the house prior to the TUKK, and the you know, any of the TUKKs being a thing, right? And originally the TUKK was just the X-Acto, so it couldn't stand in. Wasn't until the XL that I could do. Yeah, so I was still running this. Originally I was running this when I was working at Geek Squad, but because this is the G10 one, I was worried about, like, if I do put this down and lose it, I can't get another one of these. You could yourself just slap a piece of G10 on a light and probably be fine. But that's when I switched to just a EAB Lite. I think they carried them at I think this was just at Home Depot, which is just across the parking lot. So I just picked one up while I was in there grabbing something else. This one still locks up real nice. There's only a little bit of play in it. Gerber, that's all it's got. This has just got Gerber. This one's got their old logo with the sword and the stone. Oh, just Gerber. We'll see what this has got. And yes, that's what that is. Is that. Oh, and for those that saw this in, it actually still had the security tag. And when I was looking up how to remove the security tag, the item that Google's reverse image search, or like I don't think that's reverse image search. That's like whatever not Spotlight. Yeah, the thing that like looks up what's in your image, right? The item that it found was literally somebody else with this exact same item, with that exact same tag on it, which is like, and somebody posting on Facebook about it, and they actually tore it apart. So we don't need, there's your, so it had a punch through, and by the way, it wasn't like, you could have cut it out like I did without even removing the tag, because it was basically right in here, right there. But it still has this steely tag. So I don't know why you need double. This is also like the other kind of crazy thing is this is like a $10 knife. I think this topographical black one is a little bit more. maybe like 14. And now with like tariffs and shit, maybe the EAB Lite is a little bit more, you know. So one trick that I have seen some people do. Oh god, this thing is tight. Oh, they didn't continue the topographical on the top. It should work closed as well as open, in my opinion. Yeah, you can see that that blade does not line up very well in the front here. It's not sitting all the way back. And that screw, the line in it, seems to be off center. Compare that to this. The blade sticking out a little bit might be just the original EAB design. Looking at it now. I guess I'm so used to the EAB Lite now that, yeah. One trick people do with these as well is if you see where that screw is, realistically, that or maybe only a little bit past that is what you need. So if you're cutting foam or something deep, they'll actually cut off this piece here. Like they'll cut this off here so that they have more blade exposed, basically, so they can get in stuff further. That is not something that I personally do or have to deal with. Man, that I do prefer the feel of the original EAB though. This is a little bit taller here, you know, so it's like maybe a little bit better, but this flatter one, it just feels better in hand. I think it might be a little bit thinner too. Arguable. Feels and looks a little bit thinner. Here's Gerber using their extra thick blades. We had this in a previous video about the EAB, how people say you have to use the heavy duty Stanleys, and you really don't. You saw me, I have an Irwin, I have a DeWalt. To be able to use the non-heavy duty thicker, like why put this hard piece of plastic over this? I literally do not understand the thought process here of how like that covering this was a good idea. And it's like, it's hard plastic. It's not even like a gummy, chewy thing. Here we go. Like, why? I was already in plastic, so you need plastic to protect it and protect other people in the plastic. I don't know. What we're gonna do though is grab this guy here. Here's our stubby LTT. By the way, I noticed like for some reason none of my LTT, well, the latest transparent LTT screwdriver video is up, as is the precision, but neither the original LTT screwdriver video or the stubby are up for whatever reason. So now you're like, why is that slot so big if you're using a flathead? Because, well, you're not supposed to use a flathead. Yeah, you can see when they made this hardware, there's like a lip around there, like right there. That's not like, so this screw's like mismanufactured, and you can tell that that's definitely not in the middle. Because you're supposed to use a coin. I, however, have been against coins for a long time. So if we take this guy out, right? And let's go over here and we'll take, that's an Irwin blade. We'll take this guy's Stanley carbide. All right, thickness of these. I could put a heavy duty Stanley in here, but you do not have, sharp. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but there is a massive difference. And that is how Gerber has always had these. I do not know why they haven't updated the design to use the thinner, this guy, because that's standard. That thicker one, I mean, I think I've shown one of their utility knives that actually used proprietary. Like, they're so freaking close to a standard blade. Why they felt the need to go proprietary is beyond me. But they did. So at least these aren't proprietary like the see, this does line up better too. See how this sits back in here and the hole lines up, right? That is the EAB Lite. On the EAB, it doesn't. You actually have to pull it slightly away right there. So, and this is why people say you need to use these Stanley heavy-duty blades. But just to prove a point, I'll put the original screw back in. As long as you get this screw in the hole, right, we're still wiggling. And that is how I got all these marks around here, is because if you use the correct size flathead, it's literally not wide enough, because they want you to use like a dime or a penny. Pennies don't exist anymore in the year of 2025, though. Watch that. Look at that. That thing's fucking in there. That is not, and that's because you can actually screw that screw down into the hole, and it's actually contacting both the blade and screwing into the back of the housing. All right, so you do not need, I mean, if you guys want to be sure or whatever, yes, technically the Stanley Heavy Duty is the closest to the Gerber blade, right? But in my opinion, you're getting a worse blade. These could also, like, I shouldn't actually be putting these like DeWalt carbides in here, because it takes this screw. I could very easily put in the Fiskars, and I really do think the Fiskars carbide have a nicer edge on them and are still made in the US. I think this last batch of DeWalt carbides, you can see I already nicked it right there. This seems, it can't be an anodized because it's stainless steel. You can test that with yellow magnet. There you go. That's all stainless steel. You're like, why is it magnetic then? Because they're using one that's ferrous, apparently. Oh. So this, even when new, has a little bit of play in. I kind of always remember that about the original EAB design. I say that, but then it doesn't do it. There you go. It's got like that much play right there. But it locks up tighter. You know, it's like a tighter, smaller, not by a lot. Oh, I just realized the back is topographical. So they can make the back topographical, but they can't make the top topographical. Sure, Gerber. Sure. 897-062-624A. Look at that. They don't even have a freaking part number on this dang thing. Okay? Yeah, this is the OG. That's why it goes in the car. I can always count on that bad boy. Alright, so we're going to leave the screw out of that one, and you'll find out shortly. I don't mind playing around with the G10. It sounds like the black ones that are going to get marred up. So, previously, previously, on Prof talks about EABs, Gerber EABs for an hour. Previously, you guys told me to get these thumb screws, and then I ordered the 3mm one, and that was wrong. Need the 6mm one. 3mm is this guy, so if you're trying to replace this guy, 3mm. By the way, Gerber has lifetime warranty. Contact them, and they will just give you one. Actually, they gave me like a pack of 5 back when I had this guy, only this guy, and this guy. And that's why this thing has a brand spanking new one that's in nice condition. So now that, like we proved with the 3mm, that this could go in the back here, right? But that didn't help us any, because though it retains the screw, the blade, if you don't use the Stanley, thick boy Stanleys, doesn't do anything. But if you notice how much further that pokes out, yep, we should be able to put it in the other way now. Right. There we go. Okay, it's as tight as it gets, but it does go flush. So you want the 6mm one if you want to go this route. However, once again, because I don't have the heavy-duty Stanleys, and the reason is because this is not tightening to the blade like you want. It is tightening to this and this. So I did find there are actually multiple reviews on Amazon saying they're using it for this blade. Shaka, 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 shaka. And you know what we can do is we can steal one of these. This one's got a brand new thick Gerber blade on it. That just came from the factory. We're going to steal that off. Just to see if it stops shaka, shaka, shakaing at us. Shake, 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 shake. Right? It's thicker. There's still going to be a little bit of play in here. And I don't like any play. Personally. Well, at least regarding this. Playing my blade, you know. So, get this in here. Yep, it does retain it this way. But you still have the shakes. Now, what one review on Amazon said they did is they put a small spring, and I mentioned this in the other one. You either need a spacer, or he talked about using a spring under this, between that hole and the top of this. That would technically work, right? But you guys are overcomplicating this. And how do I know that? Well, that's what's in this little pouch here. Oh, by the way, I think I saw one on there where somebody cut it off like here, this clip off here, and then put paracord. They might have even bent it over a little bit or something to hold the paracord better. And then that same person was the person that cut it here. I have to wonder if you guys are just modifying things to modify things, because this clip is a real nice, strong clip. Don't touch it. As for needing to like poke in more, I mean, maybe, I guess, if you're cutting like foam or something, you really shouldn't be stabbing something that, I mean, like basically they wanted that much of the blade fully exposed. Like on this side too, which I guess that really depends on what you're cutting. You know what I mean? I don't see the benefit, because you already have to here, or if you cut an angle there, what they wanted is like that sticking out effectively, right? To each their own, right? It's kind of like, though the TUKK has the ability to, okay, that's where it normally is, right? You can hold this button and pull it out one more notch. I never use it like that. Maybe a bunch of you do, right? Maybe you're then, if you're this guy, right, then you're the cut this off guy. But otherwise, I think you guys are just modify things, which also is fine. I just think it's pointless. You'd be like, well, Prof, you're pointless. Yeah, aren't we all? Well, this is why so that one goes with that guy. This here is why you don't need these off Amazon, and to find yourself a little spring. To be truthful, I don't even, like, pen spring is going to be too long. If you guys know what spring is supposed to go with this and go in the EAB, let me know. I'll find one. I'll buy it. I'll chuck it in here. Otherwise, I would probably go the route of somebody else was using a cap screw, 3mm. Like basically, you're just replacing this with a hex head screw instead of a slot head screw. And then the hex head screws are generally the head on it is taller, so you can at least get at it with your hand because it sticks out a little bit, right? I can go that route, but it turns out that yeah, people solve this. You got pink, you got black, you got gold, you got purple, you got blue, you got red, you got orange, green. That green is real nice. Silver, boring. Like this light blue. There are 10 different colors. I can link it down below. They're on eBay. I think he's also on Etsy. The guy on eBay was selling anywhere from a 1-pack to a 3-pack. I ordered 3 3-packs. Someone was like, hey, I want one of every color. And he's like, there's 10 colors. I'm like, he's like, but I can toss that 10th one in for you. So I got one of every color for you. And for this guy, I am really vibing with the gold or the yellow. So that is what we're going with. And I'm going to show you this crazy thing. So as you take this, you put it in here. And I'm not going to go thread side first. I'm going to go this side. Watch, it fits in the hole. Wow. It fits in the hole, which means that when you do thread it in, like so, I might have to, I had to thread the other one on the back side too once to like get the threads going. What the heck? Is this one? No, it's not cross-threaded. I'm just going to do it without the blade in just to... It really doesn't want to go any further. Hold on. Oh. This is not a very good showing for this, is it? And I really don't want to force it because okay, we're gonna try a different one first. Maybe I gotta seems to be catching. Okay, I got this available. Alright, it went right in this one. Yeah. Alright, so it's this guy. Not the EAB. Or not the thumb screw. Did I gall up these threads at some point? If so, rip. Yeah, it just doesn't want to go past a certain point. And, alright, well, let's try a different color. What other color do we want? I think red's gonna look good in black, one of the black ones. Green. I don't know, I really like that yellow one in there. Light blue. Black. Black could look good with the handle. they change the threads? I didn't even think about that. No. Well, let's take the new guy then and run it through a couple times. They say they didn't change the threading. I think they did. Oh, you can tell how much more premium of a screw this old screw is too. Here, look at the tip. This is like a milled screw on the right side. Do you see the older ones here? The newer ones here. You see there's like a little recess too, where it's not threaded all the way to the base. Yeah, that's a much nicer screw. But I do think the threading has changed. Why did this guy work? Alright, so this one, in she goes. There you go, perfect, perfect. Okay, let's do the new one. Oh, that threading's different. It just pushes right in. Okay, let's take another one apart. This is the Walmart one. Oh, geez, that one was tight. That looks like that same newer screw. Okay. Let's use the gold one. Yeah, that threads right in. No problem, right? No problem. This way, it'll even pop out that side if you wanted to. It threads in actually better than that topographical EAB as well. All right. So this screw goes with this guy. Just goes flying the desk here. Let's try this one. Yeah. This is actually from the same batch, or right around. I bought my family, at least all the males in the family, a EAB Lite, right? This is kind of around that time. This has the older style screw. Or the newer style screw. So I'm betting if I take this black one and I put it in here. Yeah, look at that. No problem. Blade is in there tight. So basically none of you are going to have to worry about this. Unless you're like me and have a ancient EAB Lite with G10, and you can just tell that this is like a milled style screw versus like those are just like a more standard screw style. The weird thing is, and this should be noted then, that this probably won't work properly on here. Yeah, it's like loose. See that? And it pushed through, if I recall correctly, on this is the brand new EAB topographical edition, right? when I put it this way, it just pushed. Do you see that? So they changed the threading. So if you have a newer Gerber EAB, so maybe I do need to find, please comment down below what spring you all think I should be using, because apparently for my EAB Lite with G10, I need this older screw style that is a different thread than, look at this guy goes right in there. And I have extras of these in my, because like I said, they gave me a 5-pack. What would be interesting is if I warrantied this and they sent me the screws, this one really could use a new screw, but until it literally strips out, I don't replace it, because I mean, it'll work. So let's put this away. Now the next question is this guy. Maybe I bought one of each color thinking I'd be using at least half of them up, and I could even like choose what colors I wanted. Yep. That's an even nicer condition. Obviously, I think these, like I said, I think this was replaced around the time that I got that EAB Lite, and you could see there's room basically at the back there where it purposely doesn't, the threading doesn't go all the way to the bottom. That's for the thickness of this, because there's no point in having threading anywhere but where the threading is, like for the blade and the, yeah, it's basically for, oh, that's sharp. There, if you look at that, I don't know if you can tell, but that cutout is literally so that the standard utility blade doesn't wreck the threads, like the blade itself. So like they were thinking, like that was designed that way purposely. I think later on, I'm guessing, they cut costs. So we can try one of these in here, right? But I have a feeling that it only, because of cross threads, it only goes so far. So if you guys have a real old, doesn't matter if it's an EAB or EAB Lite, but look at it. If you have the milled screws that have like a gap for the blade, you're not going to be able to use, I keep trying to do that and it's always going to fail. This is why for the longest time I have been searching for a alternate way to do this, but it will not. If you have one of these older ones like I had in my car and I keep at my desk over there, and by the way, because screws can impart so much force, like watch this, I am not, like, that's all I'm doing to it, just a little tweak, and it's plenty. Interestingly, this does fit. So whatever, this was like an M3, right? This fits M3 6mm, fits the original. So if you're like, I think I saw comments and they're like, oh, this doesn't fit, and I thought they were mentioning like the length because they ordered a 3mm, like not a 6 like I did, or that, you know, they didn't realize you needed like a spring or a spacer of some kind, and the spacer would have to be something compressive, like you might be able to use like a little bit of a rubber tube, like with a hole in it, right? So that when you squished it, it would act like a spring. These, however, would fit on here. So if you guys have ideas for what I could cut down or where I could get a little spring, because even like a keyboard spring would be too long. I guess I could cut the spring. Let me go and see what I've got. But yeah, I have way more of these than I need now. Yeah, so this is a keyboard switch spring. It's, you know, here. That'll compress, but not enough. I think. Do we try it? That'll be interesting. Sure. I mean, I got a billion of these around. The other thing I could do is, yeah, so I'd have to look up when I got this, the standard EAB. Would have been within the last 10 years. You're like, yeah. So like I said, the number of you affected by having too old of a Gerber EAB to use all of these down here. Once again, we got pink, purple, like light blue, dark blue, green. They're showing a little washed out because of the lighting. Silver, gold. We got this one over here with black. I don't know if I'll leave black in that one or what. All right. This is the one that's been used, I think. Nope, that one. All right. So theoretically, you take this guy and it's not wide enough because it has to, the thing has to be wide enough to hit the, basically it's got to be as wide as this hole, right? Because the spring actually has to hit the blade, right? Let's see if we can even screw this in. Okay, we can. Better than without the spring, but it's not wide enough to be pushing. Like, you need like probably a Pilot G2, but that's gonna get, you'd need like a half of a Pilot G2 spring, I bet. A half length. Ooh, if you guys have any ideas of what you would or what you've seen other people put in there, let me know, because I am still interested in good both of these working. Because on the older models with the machined screws in them, like the higher quality ones, like I said, the machining on that Walmart one, and you can even see it a little bit here, is not great compared to, it's worse on the EAB Lite. Like, you can literally see the machining down there. That's not intentional, by the way. But yeah, I need to get these working now, I guess, because at least if I want to go away from having to get the screwdriver every time, which I do, because I hate flathead screws. Let's say it together. I hate flathead screws. And you see them in woodworking a lot. Not nowadays. It's mostly square head, which I am... Hey, they're at least not flathead. That's what I think about that. I mean, I really think everybody should be using Torx at this point. But, you know. Ooh. You can tell this knife's had a little bit better... I think there's a little bit of... Yeah. As I was tightening this too, I saw it shift. Nice and smooth though. Give it that. It's been worked in, that's for sure. So yeah, can't do these. I don't need nearly as many of these as I thought I was going to. Is it too boring to put the silver on here? I think this guy needs the red. All right. Oh, it does look like I gotta use that to cut some things. And you might be asking, why have you mentioned, like, oh, it'll fit the Fiskars blades, because the Fiskars blades have a hole punched in right there for whatever reason. Well, I know why. It's for compatibility with some of their scrapers and some of their other tools. The problem is on the on the, there you go, that looks mean. And then the other thing is, that's now a flick point. I always did these like this. I can't do that now. I just realized. Like, it doesn't. Here. If I grab it right where that screw is, your thumb will open it up a little bit, and then you can flick it open. Can't really do that anymore. It's just you don't have a positive place to grip it. Yeah, a little bit of it is definitely easier, thumb stud. Also, the way you're pushing it would only tighten it. Like if you're, you know. So, yeah, that one deserved the red one. Red one looks good. We're going to take these guys, put all the... Probably have to have a little bag of milled ones once I get that figured out, and a bag of the newer, cheaper ones. I put a black in here, but that's kind of boring. That was mostly just to see if it fit. One thing I can tell you about getting these, even if you only need one, might not be a bad idea with shipping and everything to get 3, because they are slippery little guys. Like when they come out in your hand. So black was boring, I thought. Green? That green is speaking to me. It's gonna pop on the silver. Yeah, that's gonna look real nice. There you go. Look at that. So as long as you have one, you know, like relatively recent in the age of Gerber EABs, and look at that, you can just take it right out. And they're not wrong in advertising that this fits, because it does. It does fit the modern ones. I think they weren't ready for people like me to have ones that were multiple decades old, you know? Because even that... See, this one, this is from that other EAB. It's no longer milled. You can see that little lip, right? So that means it's like they roll it and they shear it, right? If you look, this still has at the bottom the space for the refill, the blade. Whereas if we go to here on this, the latest one, I guess it is there too. All right, it's just not as, like I said, that slot was off center. They're just not made as well. Whereas on the other ones, which I believe are milled, you can see the little point where they would cut it off. It's got to be way cheaper to make it this way. But the threading has changed. So I don't know what these are threading wise, but they're not what those are. Interesting. I'm probably going to get back to the seller. Not that he's got to refund me or anything, but I'll just be like, hey, in case you weren't aware, if you have an old enough one, it is not compatible. You know, like, just a heads up. This topographical isn't very bright, so I think a silver is going to pop too much. Purple might be okay. Yeah, it's kind of dark. I like the purple. The red, this is orange, sorry. Blue, no, I'm not happy with it. Either you have to go stealth black, to hide it, or we go purple. We're going purple. One of these I gotta put the orange. That's not really orange. This one's orange. Yellow gold in there. Purple's a nice color. Green's a nice color. Red's a nice color. Blue pops. I think the light blue pop. Pink. Black and silver are kind of meh. I will say this newest topographical is about as chewy as... is the newest one. But, oh! They didn't even make this shit right. It bends backwards. Does anybody see this? It goes past 180 degrees. Like, how do you know that? The original EAB, which I nearly stabbed myself with. This. Grab the camera. That's flat. Dead flat. And I could use it as such. This. Cheaper. Newer. Topographical made one. Look at that shit. That's where it should be. Disappointing. Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's not going to work. Here you can see on the lockup. That's how much it's off. With the liner lock. Yeah. Look at that. Come on. Like I said, this one had the chewiest threads of all of them. Does look good, that purple on there though. So, if you guys have a relatively new EAB, but yeah, this being flat like that, I could actually use. It is so flat that you could use that to test if things were flat, and I did often. Like that is... Alright. We might be able to figure out when that G10 EAB was ordered. Yeah. I might just play some video. Hopefully it goes. Hopefully it's downloaded. Excuse me. There's show you by EAB Lite G10. There's the model even if you want it. There you go, transit folding. That's the one that I love. That one, love it. It takes proprietary utility blades though, and apparently I wasn't supposed to get it. Like it was only supposed to be sold to companies. Up there is Irwin Industrial bimetal blue blades. Yep. So I ordered $12 for 50. Not too shabby. And there's some packing tape. I went off that TUKK. It was not sticking. Like they changed the formulation. That HP high performance grade used to be real good, and then they changed the sticky formulation and it just wouldn't stick to. If you guys are wondering, the reason why you use packing tape is because you're sticking it to the outer part of the cardboard. The adhesive of that clear tape is designed specifically to do it. That's why you don't use duct tape for shipping. It comes right off. Like there's supposed to be there's specific types of adhesive using that. The HP just unstuck itself, and I actually had some packages arrive that were not stuck. So I switched to 3M. Yeah, 1097 back then. There you go. Current, and it doesn't even have with G10. The picture doesn't even have the G10 handle. This picture actually has the older clip though. I've never had one with that clip. I've always had with the wider clip. I think the recalled one is that clip actually. There you go. You can see the Fiskars. Fiskars Pro. Don't get the 5-pack. Way better to get that guy. Well, that's a 10-pack. You can actually get. I got 3 of those packs in 1 pack. 2, something like that. Oh, these could be interesting too. Titanium nitride from Excel Blades. Yeah, I'm gonna put those in my Excel Blades is the ones that I trust that make the compatible, the X-Acto blades that are actually compatible with old products, because I didn't sell it to China. They're actually a U.S. based company made in the USA. I'll put that in the wish list. I'll be interested to try those. The titanium nitride, 3M makes some of those. They're not as hard as the carbides. Engineered with a premium carbon steel edge and titanium nitride coating. Carbon steel, that's not carbide. Those are still probably really good blades. But if they make those in their X-Acto blades, dang, so that like I said, that was from 2013, 13 years ago, right? So EAB Lite, Home Depot. $17. All right. So I got my little keychain tape measure. Go get yourself one of those. They're way more expensive now. Those are really good from Milwaukee. I have it on, just super handy. Keep a little. I keep one on my lunchbox now. My original, that guy disappeared. Must have given it to somebody to do a thing and never came back. But yeah, that EAB Lite in 2017, which does line up time-wise, was that. So if you use something that's like I said, within 10 years old, because this guy here, the green, that's 2017. So as long as you bought your EAB within the last 10 years, go to eBay and get yourself one of these thumb studs, thumb screws, and make your life way easier. You don't need to cobble something together. You don't need to file down a cap head screw. Did they add brass bushings in there? You guys see that? It's much tighter. Does this have them? No, that's got like something else in there. See it? Not brass. There's much less friction. Didn't get that tight enough. There we go. No shaky now. So there's no brass. I would have to get it apart to make sure that was brass. Let's look at this guy. No, it's probably like a Delrin or a. All right. Yeah, you can see that that's the same thing. This guy's gotten so loose. Yeah, this has been the white. But then this one, unless it's black, Delrin. then over there, it's definitely a I think they switched this to brass bushings, which may explain why the action is so much tighter. Now, this is a brand new one, but to me that looks brass colored. See it in there? The other one was a white. Yeah, those are definitely brass bushings. So it got an improvement? I mean, mine's still made wonky, so I might send him a picture of that and be like, yo, dog, is it supposed to be like that? Because I don't think it is. And like I said, my screw was off center, so it's like the especially on that Walmart black one, the build quality on this definitely went down. Like, it looks fine here, right? Actually looks quite fine on the outside, like what you see when it's collapsed, but on this bit, you can see that the finish, you can see how hard like they never broke the edges. Like that. On my other EAB lights that I've used very regularly, I've actually had to do that myself. Because these edges here can get sharp enough to like real sharp. And you can see I broke like in certain places, like where your fingy is. I like just took a file and went shk, 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 shk. And all you gotta do is break that like that really sharp pointy edge on there. Something that this guy never had, really, by comparison. So we did see an improvement. I may actually go and email Gerber and be like, hey, here's an EAB and here's my new EAB. Why is it all not flat? Because, yeah. Basically, if you want it to lock up correctly, it won't lock. You have to, like, put it past the 180. You can see it here. If I see it like this, you can see it. It's like cocked backwards. I'm sure it'll work, but mildly annoying. And maybe I can then ask him if they did upgrade that to brass. This is the first one of mine. I guess that was bought probably a year within the past 3 years for the black one. This guy was 2017, and it still uses the. So, like I said, if you're within 10 years of getting an EAB or an EAB Lite, you are fine, and most of you probably will have. I don't think I'll have a history of buying it at Walmart because that was physically bought in person. I think probably with cash. So, what year did the EAB come out? I think we looked this up in a previous issue. Gerber EAB release. Tool guide has the info on the topographical Home Depot exclusive one. Apparently, NBC News did a thing. Why Gerber EAB pocket knife is the best knife for your home. It's a nice one. I have bought, like I said, bought one for everybody in the family. 2008, the recall occurred. There you go. And like I said, I know I was still in high school. So, that would have been right around that time. They don't have the recalled one, though. Oh. Oh, so here's the difference. Top one. So basically it just had a little ledge it sat on instead of being enclosed like the bottom one. Yep. So I never had corrected September 2007. That makes more sense. Because I was their seasonal, you know, during high school, and that lines up better that the corrected one would be then. I still have never seen an EAB Lite with that older clip style. It looks weak as shit comparatively. I've never seen one in real life, I should say. But yeah, so as long as you guys have a EAB bought within the past 10 years, right, you should go to eBay and buy yourself. I have no affiliate stuff, but I really like, why try and make your own if you don't have to? They literally have them in the correct thread, which is apparently not M3 anymore, in 10 different colors, and they can look awesome, like that purple, red, green. I think that yellow gold looks great. The pink, the light blue look good. I think on the G10, the black would have looked good, but womp womp, not going to happen. We have seen here, now that we've had to look in this a little bit more, that there have been changes over time. And yeah, so questions, comments, throw them down below, and hopefully we'll see you in a future video. As always, peace. Have a good one.